let's talk about the departure from the UFC. So there's a lot of things that kind of went into that about you kind of being a little vocal about the company and some other things. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, my departure from the UFC, I did fail two drug tests for marijuana that I'm prescribed by a doctor, so I really don't see the problem. But, I believe it wasn't just that. I think it was the fact that I made some comments like Joe Silva lied to me. He said I'd get a fight with Dan Hardy if I beat Che Mills. And before I even fought Che Mills, he already had Hardy signed to a fight with Matt Brown, which would make it 6 months before I even got a shot at Dan Hardy, which means I wouldn't be fighting him next because I stay active. So he knew that wasn't going to happen. So I made that comment. And then on top of that, they allow fighters like Vitor Belfort, who I think is a great athlete, great fighter. But they let fighters like Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, and a laundry list of other good fighters that are already top level take steroids. They let them take TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and they think it's acceptable because they have a doctor's note. I use a plant from the earth, and it's not acceptable to use even with a doctor's note, and it's never killed anybody in the history of marijuana. It's never killed anybody. But I can't use that drug, that performance enhancing drug, 3 weeks before I fight. But you can shoot up steroids and compete the next day.
So what are your thoughts on that? You look at obviously legalization in Colorado and Washington for recreational use. You need it for medical use. Um, and
I don't think it should have ever been banned. It should never be a medical, recreational. It should just be common use. Maybe if they have certain strains that they genetically alter to make super strong, maybe you need a medical license to obtain those because they're like kryptonite. But nobody's ever died from it. I've never seen anybody smoke a joint and go out to the bar and kick somebody's ass, or like go somewhere and beat the shit out of somebody, or get in a car accident because they were just too messed up. Most people that get stoned are like, I'm just gonna hang out. People aren't doing crazy shit high. So bottom line is, it's just where the money's at. The money's in alcohol. The money's not in marijuana right now. I was too vocal. There's other players that have failed multiple drug tests, like Dave Herman for marijuana, and I don't even think he has a license. But they allow him to continue to fight in the UFC, and he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I'm on a 4-fight win streak, one submission of the night, multiple fight of the night honors. I'm 9-3 in my overall career that started in the UFC, but they'd rather get rid of me because I speak my mind. It's unfortunate we live in a world like that today, but it is what it is. The thing with fighting with the UFC, at least for me, that at the stage of my career that I'm at, it was really easy money. I like fighting, and the UFC was paying me, I think, like 25 and 25 a fight. So if I just won a fight, I made 50,000. So if I fought 3 times a year and just squeaked out decisions, it's making over 150K without sponsors. So that's just the money was really easy, and then you had bonuses on top. I could be making $250,000 or more a year. So that sucked. Even me, from my standpoint, I was like, shit, like I lost that. But at the same time, I know I've acquired the skills. I lasted in the UFC. I had a 9-3 record there, and Bellator, everybody was ready to hop on the bandwagon and pick me up. So, I wasn't too worried. I knew I was wanted. I knew the UFC made a great mistake, releasing somebody for using medical marijuana when they have a prescription and everything else. They look like idiots, and most of the people that talk about that incident think they're idiots for doing that. Because they also allow people, like I said, to do steroids, and they also allow other players like Dave Herman, who don't have licenses, fail for marijuana, and they keep their jobs. So it is what it is.